It's time to go racing again on the Atomic Power Racing Hour. On this episode, we have a throng of teams invading CanAm Motorsports Park, ready to get the Go Nuclear season underway. Some are from right down the road, while others have driven plenty of miles to make it here to chase after the first checkered flag of the season. Who will win it? It's all coming up next on the Atomic Power Racing Hour.
Hello and welcome to the Atomic Power Racing Hour featuring the Go Nuclear late models. Hard to believe it's mid-June, but this is show number 1 of the season. 4 rainouts to start the year, but here we're going to get things going today at CanAm. I'm Doug Elkins. Rich Fleck will be joining me for the night of racing here tonight. Rich, we normally have a good field of cars, but because of the way things have worked with the World of Outlaws, we have some professionals in the field tonight.
That's right. 3 drivers just making their way through this part of the country to be here. And then the other 75% of the field came from just under 2 hours away to be here. They know this track a little bit better. It's a weekly track, but they've only run 2 times so far this year, so it will be interesting to see how it breaks down.
And late models were at Fonda last night. They're going north of the border to Canada. The third member of our team is Paul Small. He is down in the pit area right now.
Well, the first race of the year for the drivers comes at one of the fastest racetracks they'll run on here at CanAm Motorsports Park. This is wide, smooth, and it's a momentum racetrack where you basically put your foot in the floor and try not to let off while you're going around the corners. And the interesting thing tonight was during the qualifications, it looked like the track was going to take rubber. But as we get ready for the heat races, the track is starting to slick off. That means one of 2 things is going to happen. It's either going to be a bottom feeder festival later on tonight, or when the temperatures get cooler and the track takes rubber, the grooves could open up and we could be in for quite a show.
New this year on the Go Nuclear Late Model Series time trials. 4 groups headed to the track to see who was fastest to set up the qualifying heat races.
They time within their time trial group. Lee Gill was the quickest in group number 1, sub 20-second lap. Group number 2, it was Daryl Lanigan invading with a very quick 19.815 second lap. That would be the quickest we would see all night long in the time trial session. Group number 3, a little bit of an issue getting started with the Feathered Friend.
Yeah, we had to wait for them to clear the racetrack. Spinner in group number 3, but David McDonald was the fastest in his number 97.
Yeah, the Canadian ran a 20.565 second lap, but it was another Canadian stealing heat race number 4, defending champion Charlie Sandercock at a 20.526. All the quickest drivers will start 4th in their qualifying heats.
So the heat races are ready to go. We'll get to them when we come back on the Atomic Power Racing Hour.
Need a better way to listen to music? Come into the 21st century with Tenace Home Cinema and Music Systems. Tenace provides music impeccably reproduced from the world's most outstanding manufacturers. If we carry it, we believe in it, as if the musicians are playing live in your home. Knowledge matters, quality matters, and when that point comes to upgrade, Tenace will be there.
Electricity. You flip a switch, the lights go on. But will we have safe supplies of electricity to meet our fast-growing needs? Today, nuclear energy provides 1/5 of America's electricity. Tomorrow, it could supply even more. And nuclear power plants don't emit greenhouse gases, so they preserve our environment. We need to reduce our dependence on foreign energy. And we also need clean air. With nuclear energy, we can do both. Nuclear, putting clean air energy to work.
Sick of staticky headphones you bought at the dollar store? Come to your senses and enjoy music once again. At Sense, we recognize that not one size fits all. It's your music. Sense believes it should be your choice in how to listen to it. Enjoy crystal clear audio with comfortable and fresh styles that suit you. Don't conform to the norm. Get what you want and listen with your senses. The Go Nuclear Late Model Challenge Series is presented by Excel Tower Service, Atomic Chassis, Humber Nurseries, Deer Haven Victory, Grills and Ovens, Insinger Performance, Gillies Napa, Dibbits Excavating, BA Custom Headers, SUNY Canton, C. Smith Automotive Machine Shop, McDonald Homes, Trick Race Parts, HBH Super Suckers, and Tenace Music Systems.
Welcome back to the Atomic Power Racing Hour, north in the North Country at CanAm Motorsports Park, about 15 miles south of LaFargeville. This is the first of 4 qualifying heats. Dale Caswell, he will be on the front row as we get ready to go. This result, of course, came after time trials.
Again, the top 4 inverted. So Caswell, despite being the 4th fastest, ends up on the front row. Some drivers that weren't that quick, like A.J. Kingsley, starting near the back. 8 laps, the top 5 qualifying to the feature. Top 2 will redraw. Both of those important as we go green underneath our onboard or our drone camera.
There they go. Off to the top side goes Greg Bellier. He goes to the lead. That's Dale Caswell in tow. Good battle going on for the number 3 spot right behind him.
Lee Gill and Adam Turner right behind them as they work into turn number 3 and 4. Gill back into the late models this season after winning the series championship back in 2011.
And of course, he knows this track very well. He was a regular at CanAm Motorsports Park for very many years, and he's going to go for 3rd as we've got a battle for the lead as well.
Caswell back into his familiar number R19, still using the tribute paint scheme to his uncle Steve Hallsizer in the number 88. That's the car he ran last year. It's the same car, and he's into the race lead, getting by Greg Bellier. And here comes Gill battling with Bellier into turn number 1.
Boy, cars look exactly alike as they make their way around. Those two battle. That's Gill back there in the number 3 spot, but he's going to look to the inside now, going for the runner-up position.
Yeah, a supported car is Lee Gill of Greg Bellier, and Bellier might not be too happy about that right now, as Lee Gill able to scoot on by the hometown driver up into the 2nd and final redraw spot. Bellier and Turner in 3rd. We got a spin in turn number 4.
Alan Chapman's number 64 is up on the top side of the racetrack over in turn number 4. Let's see if we can see what happens here, Rich. Oh, he just looked like he went around on his own.
Just got in a little bit hot. You know, you can carry that momentum into that wide corner, turn number 3. It does narrow up a little bit off of turn number 4. Now, we do use the Delaware double file restarts, which means the leader is on his own, and then it's double file from there on back.
And second place has a choice of whether to go inside or outside on that second row. So they're really unique to late model racing, and we are back under green here, almost the halfway point.
Dale Caswell and Lee Gill, both former champions at CanAm, but that was a few years ago. Caswell up the racetrack, and here comes Lee Gill. Gill won the weekly event here 3 weeks ago, his only win of the season.
Down to the inside of Caswell in turn number 3. Looks like he will have the lead. Caswell goes a little wide that time, and that will allow Gill to pull away a little bit here.
Our Horizon aerial media showing us the drone cam shot from up above and showing Gill pulling away. A.J. Kingsley starting to make the move in his 9K. He's up into position number 4, getting by Adam Turner, the Canadian.
Yeah, Adam Turner, he's down in the bottom in the number 92. Kingsley looks like he's found something on the upstairs part of the racetrack, although he got her a little bit loose that time coming off of 4.
Yeah, still trying to really get it up. And if you're going to carry the momentum on the outside of the racetrack, it's very important to make sure that that middle of the corner is good for you. Looks like he's slipping up off of turn number 2. Turner, who got a win earlier this season at Brighton, his hometown track, north of Lake Ontario in Canada, holds on to the number 4 spot.
There's Kingsley going upstairs again, trying to get by Turner. Kingsley runs in the central New York area, father of former race promoter and track owner at several racetracks in the area, most recently out at the Weedsport Speedway, as Kingsley inches ahead of Turner here for 4th spot.
Kingsley, who is still looking for his first win of this young season, did a great job last year running weekly at Fulton, where he scored 5 victories.
Got another spin around. I think that's Norm Mayhew who has gone around at the top side. Yes, that's who it is, the 60 of Norm Mayhew around, the driver from up in Canada and Ontario.
Yeah, Norm was running towards the back, spun it around. Thought he was going to be able to keep it going, but loops it that second time around. So we have just one more lap left to go. Lee Gill now the leader. And the battle for second, again, very important. If you finish in the top 2, you're going to start in the top 8. You finish 3rd, you're going to start the feature in 9th. So a little bit up for grabs as the final lap is underway.
So that battle in the second row, an important one, as Caswell tries to hold on and look down on the inside. There goes A.J. Kingsley trying to pick up position number 3.
And a good battle behind them for the final transfer spot with Mark Rayner to the inside of Adam Turner. Looks like Lee Gill's got this one in command, though.
Gill will get the win. Caswell second. And down on the inside, looks like A.J. Kingsley will sneak up and get position number 3. Greg Bellier in 4th, and Mark Rayner gets the final transfer spot in position number 5. That is the first of 4 qualifying heat races here at CanAm. There's our leader going back. We'll be back with more on the Atomic Power Racing Hour. while we were away here. Trouble at CanAm Motorsports Park in qualifying heat race number 2.
Yeah, Phil Potts got in there way hot, got into the side of Brett Belden, and both drivers are out without a lap being completed. So only 6 cars left, and again, 5 of them are going to punch their ticket into the A main. Darrell Lanigan, the defending World of Outlaw late model driver, driving for Greg Bellier in a car that he sold him over the winter, is going to carry our onboard and carry the field into turn number 1 with a strong move. The Union Kentucky driver out in front of the field.
Battle now shaping up at the back of the pack and down to the inside. There goes the number 97, or excuse me, that's the 77 of Kaylee Weiss down there.
Kaylee Weiss and Boom Briggs in the 99. Boom Briggs, one of those World of Outlaw late model drivers, one of 3 invading today, driving David McDonald's backup car, so that is why you see the tape job on his machine. Billy Isley in the 18, local driver from right down the road, won his first career late model feature 2 years ago in a Go Nuclear Late Model Series event right here at CanAm. Had a great season that year, running right now, though, back in spot number 5, just on the bubble of making it in.
And we see the margin there from first to second, and even back here to third, fourth, and fifth. That's Boom Briggs, who's running back there in position number 4, trying to wheel in Canadian racer Kaylee Weiss.
And he slips up the racetrack, though. Here comes Isley down to the inside. Isley, who's driven just about everything. His dad drives the pace truck here at CanAm and works it off the bottom of turn number 4, looking to start to hit his strides in the number 18 as we're just approaching the halfway point.
And Boom Briggs, they were working on that car a lot in the pit area before the races today. They had some carburetor issues they were working on, so you have to wonder if maybe everything's not quite right with that number 99 car, and that's the one with the tape on the side of it right there that you just saw.
Meanwhile, Darrell Lanigan checking out on the field. Elmer Stevenson, a weekly competitor at CanAm every time they run the late models, is running in second, and remember, top 2 will redraw for a top 8 starting position. So that's really the full focus right now for these teams, is to get to the top 2, and if they can't do that, finish in the top 5.
And there you see the Isley number 18 gaining up a little bit on Kaylee Weiss. I love these shots right here. You really get a chance to see how big and how that straightaway is not really all that straight on the front stretch at CanAm.
No, Horizon Aerial Media presenting some awesome views, and there's a different one going hard into the sun, and Darrell Lanigan, his traditional no gloves routine. I wouldn't recommend it, but he does it all the time. And if this wasn't a backup car for Greg Bellier, he would be utilizing a ride that wouldn't have a number on the top of the roof. But
I guess we shouldn't be surprised that Lanigan's out in front as much as he is, and they're in the middle of a streak here. They just ran the night before on the World of Outlaws Tour. They'll be running tomorrow north of the border on the World of Outlaws Tour, so he's feeling the rhythm right now as we watch that race again for position number 3, and there's our leader out front all the way over in turn 2.
Yeah, making it look easy right now. Again, a car that he used to own. He sold it to Greg Bellier, and Bellier said as part of the deal, you got to drive it here at CanAm. And you can see it's very difficult working through that sun just as they enter the middle of 3 and 4, but he's going to have a checkered flag and a heat race win to put himself into the top 8 redraw.
And look, the margin, we still haven't seen second place come across the line, about a half a track, almost 7 seconds. Elmer Stevenson gets in, so does Kaylee Weiss and Billy Isley. We are halfway through the qualifying heats. We still have 2 more to go. You're watching the Atomic Power Racing Hour.
Electricity. You flip a switch, the lights go on. But will we have safe supplies of electricity to meet our fast-growing needs? Today, nuclear energy provides 1/5 of America's electricity. Tomorrow, it could supply even more. And nuclear power plants don't emit greenhouse gases, so they preserve our environment. We need to reduce our dependence on foreign energy. And we also need clean air. With nuclear energy, we can do both. Nuclear, putting clean air energy to work.
Sick of staticky headphones you bought at the dollar store? Come to your senses and enjoy music once again. At Sense, we recognize that not one size fits all. It's your music. Sense believes it should be your choice in how to listen to it. Enjoy crystal clear audio with comfortable and fresh styles that suit you. Don't conform to the norm. Get what you want and listen with your senses.
Planning a trip to Victory Lane? Let Atomic Chassis get you there. Atomic Chassis are built with a high attention to detail using superior parts from trusted manufacturers such as PPM, Winters, Bernheisel, Bilstein, All-Star Performance, Vulcan, and many more. With superior craftsmanship and materials, you know Atomic will last. And since each customer becomes a part of our family, you aren't treated like just another number. So visit atomicchassis.com today to plan your next trip to Victory Lane. Welcome back to the Atomic Power Racing Hour, just south of the U.S.-Canadian border at CanAm Motorsports Park. We are halfway through the qualifying heat races tonight. Big field of cars. Doug Elkins and Rich Bleck up here in the tower. As you can see, we are ready with a great field here in qualifier number 3.
Dustin Waters carrying our onboard camera. He's going to start back in 6th, makes the long trip up here from Portville, New York, down near the southwestern part of New York State. But it's Alan Fink from Central Square who pulls away to the early race lead. And the quickest driver from time trials in this group, David McDonald in that blue 97, peeks down to the inside. McDonald scored the opening night win here back in 2014. He's been looking forward to this event as he battles with Brandon Ford for spot number 2.
Brandon Ford, a regular, also does sportsman racing just south of here at the Fulton Speedway. And you can see McDonald trying to work the inside here as they battle for the number 2 spot. And again, you want to be in the top 2. Top 4 gets you in, but top 2 gets you a better shot at being up front.
McDonald just hanging down on the inside part of the racetrack. You see the car flexing and the wheel working underneath the body frame, doing everything he wants it to do. Ford just kind of skating through the middle right now. You either got to be on the bottom or up near the top. You see Mike Trapp behind him in spot number 4. He's hanging it out on the outside of the speedway. Dustin Waters back in 5th. Hasn't been able to move up too much. And then right behind him, the 46 of Brandon Moat. That is for the final transfer spot as they come down the backstretch.
Well, you can see the different lines and how far some of these drivers are going out. And, of course, with these late model cars, some drivers like a car that hangs all the way out. Some guys like a car that's a little straighter. And you can see the difference when you watch these cars go around the racetrack as we are halfway now through this 3rd of 4 qualifying heat races.
A great night for racing here on the season opener. We've had such bad luck when it came to weather. There was one show at Humberstone that was canceled the day before June because it was 48 degrees out and raining. So this is a great sight to see. Meanwhile, the lead is shrunken as here comes David McDonald, the quickest in the group during time trials, closing in. Alan Fink's car seems to be a little bit loose off the corner. Fink, the current points leader at Fulton, hangs on to the lead, but here comes Dustin Waters. He's found some life in the Evingham side excavation, number 14, as Dusty goes for 3rd.
Yeah, I've been watching him come up through this qualifying heat, running a nice line. He's up to position number 3, and Brandon Ford might have just lost 4th position. Actually, he lost 2 spots that time.
Yeah, exactly. He's out of a transfer position right now. He would be headed to the dreaded B main, but Trapp skates up the speedway. The Governor New York driver goes up the racetrack, and here comes Ford to try to close back in.
Meanwhile, Brandon Moat in the 46 is now moved up into that final qualifying spot. There's your leader, Alan Fink. And we have just 2 laps left to go. Last lap now here as they work through down through 1 and 2.
The sun sets and the race is kind of running out. Alan Fink has been able to pull his distance back away over David McDonald. Dustin Waters closing in for the 2nd and final redraw position. Will he be able to get it? Does not look like he'll be able to. Alan Fink will score the win. McDonald into the redraw, and Dustin Waters will start back in position number 11.
Brandon Moat ends up in 4th. Brandon Ford gets the final qualifying spot. He comes back to position number 5. A little bit different than what happened to Alan Fink here last year in this event in one of our biggest crashes that we saw in the season.
And take a look back at it. A lap 16 restart in the feature here last year. You might not see Alan Fink's car through all this mess. You'll see it coming into your front vision. That was the car of Brett Belden making hard contact, and that was the walk that Fink had to make. But again, Fink comes in tonight as a 2-time winner at Fulton, and their track point leader, heat race number 4, set to go.
That's one of the longest walks you make in racing right there. Back from a wreck, Jordan Peters, Chris Fleming in row number 1, Sean Beersley, Charlie Sandercock, who is the defending series champion. He's on the outside of row number 2, so keep your eyes on net number 57. This guy is just magic in these cars.
Yeah, Sandercock with 2 wins in 3 starts here at CanAm this season in their weekly competition, but it's a little bit different here tonight. 3 wide on the opening start. Getting shuffled out of the deck was Canadian Jordan Peters, and out in front, rookie Chris Fleming, a graduate from the IMCA modified ranks.
Yeah, he was the Northeast Regional Champion last year, won over 30 races in IMCA modified competition, been wanting to drive a late model for a long time. He and Kevin Cook, another guy who ran those cars, moved up at the same time, and they are going for a championship at Fulton. Right now, he's out in front.
Yeah, he's doing a great job out of Auburn, New York. He's got the race lead. Sean Beardsley, the 2nd and final redraw position. Beardsley was leading this event last year, about halfway through the feature event, when Charlie Sandercock ran him down. And right now, Sandercock's doing the same thing here in qualifier number 4.
Watching is Sopaz. That's the red car down on the bottom. He gets up into position number 4.
Yeah, doing a nice job sending the number 11P of Peters back to the final transfer position. But up for the second spot, this is a big deal. Whoever finishes second has a chance at the pole, Doug. Whoever finishes third starts in 12th. So a lot of starting positions up for grabs. Beardsley has it for the moment, but here comes Sandercock, the defending series champion.
And out of all the tracks, this is one of Sandercock's better tracks without a doubt. And you can see he's going to work to the outside of Sean Beardsley. Beardsley, a former dirt modified racer who went to the late models a few years ago, actually toured on the World of Outlaws late model series for a season, so he knows these cars pretty well. But Sandercock, around the outside, he may have him this time on the front stretch.
Good power down the front straightaway. Sandercock so far this season, between his starts at CanAm and Brighton, 6 wins in 10 starts, and most of the time he's doing what he's doing right now, hanging it up on the top of the racetrack and makes it stick. Beardsley fighting hard on the bottom, and it looks like Sandercock will be able to take that second and final redraw position away. That could be critical when it comes to starting spots for the feature.
And I notice Beardsley has his gloves on, unlike Darrell Lanigan from earlier, but there goes Sandercock on the outside. Looks like he's got the position now. Does he have time, though, to run down the leader with 3 to go?
Sean Beardsley back at his own number 18 money sign this year after running a 46 car last year. Did get a win at the Black Rock Speedway, but hangs on to third, so past fourth, and Peters rounding out the 5 transfer cars. And while all that's going on, rookie Chris Fleming, first time running a late model here at CanAm, looking smooth and comfortable as he's working around the white flag.
And a lot of those guys who make that move from an IMCA modified to a late model do very well and adapt quickly, and you can see that Fleming is doing that right here. We've got one more lap to go as the cars slide there through 3 and 4.
Yeah, and that view gives you a great illustration of how the middle groove doesn't just go away the same. There's good ribbons and bad ribbons of dirt, but as it gets blacker, it gets slicker. But the black and red 10F of Chris Fleming, not to be touched in this one, not even by Charlie Sandercock. He scores his first qualifying heat race win with the Go Nuclear late models in his first start.
Almost 2 seconds the margin between he and Charlie Sandercock, so welcome to the series, Chris Fleming. Qualifying heat races are done. We've got more coming up on the Atomic Power Racing Hour.
Welcome back here to the Atomic Power Racing Hour. CanAm Motorsports Park in the North Country. Doug Elkins and Rich Vleck with you. Go Nuclear Late Models, first race of the season. 38 cars out there in the qualifying heats. That was some wild action.
Yeah, some drivers really had trouble going or keeping the car straight. Some damage along the way, but for the drivers out in front, no problem. Smooth sailing to the checkered flag.
Let's hear from some of the drivers who were just out on the racetrack in their qualifying heats.
Typical CanAm. Sun's out, slick's off, back corners up. Car went good.
Greg here bought this car from us over the winter, wanted us to come up here and do this deal with us. So just come up here and have a little fun, and then gonna do a little practice with our car tonight.
Yeah, we were fortunate enough to have the inversion and start on the front row there for the heat race, and the car was pretty good. We slipped up a couple times, but we were able to pull back away and get the win.
Oh, I mean, it's our first time here. Made one adjustment after hot laps and time trials, and the thing was right on rails. Hopefully we can make the right adjustment again for the feature and, stay in the top 5, top 10. I'll be happy with the top 5.
And I didn't realize that it was his first time here. B-Main, these are the cars that did not qualify through their heat races. This is their last chance to get in the show, and trouble happened early here.
Yeah, problem for Harry Halliday spinning off the racetrack. And as he went off the racetrack, the rest of the field heard yellow over the one-way radios and stacked themselves up. Good competitors like Paul Grigsby knocked out for the night. Only the top 4 drivers guaranteed a transfer spot, and that was really where the hot battle was, including that 57. That's not Charlie Sandercock. That's Chubbzilla, Chubb Frank, moving his way through the pack, and he did a great job in this one.
Yeah, they had trouble in the heat, never even got the car on the racetrack. And, of course, Charlie Sandercock will be driving his car tomorrow night up north of the border, but it was fun to watch him in this B-Main.
A hot slide job on Utica's Aaron Jacobs to get by for the third position, and then after a late race caution, went after Adam Turner for the race lead. But Turner was able to start hitting his marks and pull away. The battle for the fourth and final transfer position would be hotly contested. The 81 of Brett Belden able to hold off Aaron Jacobs for that spot, although I believe Jacobs will get a provisional. Off the final corner, though, Adam Turner holds off Chubb and gets the win.
Always nice to beat a professional, and let's meet our winner of the B main.
Yeah, it's good that we're in the show. I'm actually kind of good because the car wasn't very good in the heat race, so I'm glad we went to the B main. Got to do some extra hot laps, so I guess the car was better there. It felt better. The guy said it looked better, so.
Before the late model feature gets underway, some other racers are taking to the infield for an exhibition with their different four-wheeled vehicles. Speaking of different tires, let's hear from Paul for this edition of the Tech Minute.
Tires have always been a guessing game in racing. The Go Nuclear Late Model Series certainly no exception. And up to this race here, you've had a choice. You could run Hoosier tires or you could run these American Racer tires with different compounds available. However, starting with the next race on the Go Nuclear Late Model Series at Ohsweken, the teams will be switching exclusively to the Rush Crate Late Model Series tire. That's a Hoosier racing tire like the one on Charlie Sandercock's car here. There are two compounds available. You can use the D55 compound, which is what this tire is. You're allowed to groove it, you're allowed to sipe it, and you're allowed to grind it. There's also a softer compound, a D21 compound. You can use that tire, but you're not allowed to do anything to that one at all.
It's time now for the 30-lap feature event. Before they go green, though, let's go back down to Paul one last time for a report on how the track surface looks at this point of the night.
Guys, it's unusual for a track to have multiple conditions existing on the same surface, but that's exactly what we're dealing with here at CanAm tonight. You have some very dry, slick spots that have taken rubber. You have dry, slick spots that are just plain slick that haven't taken any rubber. Then you have some moist clay out there that's got a ton of bite, but that might slick off during the feature. Tonight is going to be all about applying the power to the racetrack. It's not how much you have, it's how much you can get down and get traction with that will be the key to winning in this season opener.
27 Go Nuclear Late Models salute the crowd 4 wide as we get ready to go green here at CanAm Motorsports Park. Rich, what do you think?
Well, I think it's going to be very important to make sure that these cars can get off to a clean start. It is a hornet's nest working into that first lap. But with these cars and having the momentum, any restart will be critical. Of course, the Delaware double file restart being utilized, and a guy starting a little bit further back, Charlie Sandercock, going to go away from position number 8. He had the worst redraw. Dale Caswell, another driver with the onboard, a little bit better. He's going to start up in 4th. And the guys in the front row aren't going to be too shabby either, in Alan Fink and Lee Gill.
And, of course, I'm sure some of them are having a flashback perhaps at this moment to what happened last year. This track is called the Nasty Track of the North for a reason. Here's the lineup, but 30 laps, 27 starters. Caution laps do not count, and restarts are all Delaware double file after lap 1. So if we do get a caution on the first lap, they'll go back to double file just like we're doing right now.
Again, Alan Fink and the 125 of Lee Gill will command the front row, and a lot of people looked at that and went, oh boy, this is not going to be good. But heavy hitters behind them, and as we talked about, guys like Dale Caswell and Darrell Lanigan starting back in spot number 6 while Charlie Sandercock goes away from 8. They're guys that know how to win for sure.
A.J. Kingsley there in row number 5. Dustin Waters had a lot of fun watching him in his qualifying heat race. Kyle Stopaz used the bottom of the racetrack to get some spots in his.
Belly Isley again won this event here 2 years ago. Boom Briggs is a regular. He runs as a professional. Well, Jordan Peters is a former Humberstone Speedway track champion. And don't count out Chubb Frank, even though he starts
not
back
at all.
in position number 22. You know, he's done that before. He almost lapped the field in a race with the Go Nuclear Late Models at Mohawk 2 years ago.
Phil Potts at the back. They wrecked a car a couple of weeks ago, so they're running their backup car here tonight.
3 provisional starters, he being one of them along with Hill and Jacobs.
And you see, just took a tear off right there. Notice he has his on the other side. Most drivers pull the tear off with the right hand. Usually it's motocross and motorcycle guys that put the tear off on the left side because they have to keep their hand on the throttle. So that makes sense. So it's a little interesting. I never noticed he did that before.
Our Horizon Aerial Media restart shows us the overhead view as the field goes green for the 30-lap feature event.
Boy, they look so nice and straight from the low camera, but then you get that upper camera from up top from Horizon there. And man, that is really something. Battling already here, Elmer Stevenson going to the inside of professional racer Darrell Lanigan.
Yeah, Lanigan up the speedway just a touch. Look at Caswell, that first black and green car underneath Alan Fink. And Fink, the driver that started on the pole position, has already shifted back to spot number 4, and it could be 5th by the time they go through 1 and 2.
Yeah, his car just pushed on the cold tires that first time through the corner. Lost 3 spots doing it as we had a quick look on board with Stevenson. Look at Chris Fleming.
Wow. Past the champion.
Wow.
The rookie goes by the defending champion and track champion as well, Charlie Sandercock. He goes up the speedway, and it looks like they will continue to duke it out for spot number 6 as the battle rages on behind them. Kaylee Weiss and David McDonald, they're sorting it out for position number 8. Now Sandercock gets a little bit of life on the top of turn number 2.
Well, he's got to get him back from beating him in the heat race earlier. Of course, they were in the final qualifying heat. Oh, I love this shot from up above here. You can really see how sideways and how one guy really got out of shape on the high side down there in turn 4.
And a caution out. Brandon Moad a little bit further back in the pack, spins it around.
We'll be back with more from CanAm.
If you're enjoying these late models on the Atomic Power Racing Hour, you need to be there in person. The Go Nuclear Late Model Challenge Series is coming to a track near you with all the dirt-flinging, side-by-side racing, and bumper-to-bumper action that you can handle. Come see the cars and stars of the Atomic Power Racing Hour as they battle for bragging rights. The series is coming to a track near you, so don't miss out on your best opportunity to experience what all the hype's about. The Go Nuclear Late Models visit Cornwall Motor Speedway Sunday, August 2nd.
Planning a trip to Victory Lane? Let Atomic Chassis get you there. Atomic Chassis are built with a high attention to detail using superior parts from trusted manufacturers such as PPM, Winters, Bernheisel, Bilstein, All-Star Performance, Vulcan, and many more. With superior craftsmanship and materials, you know Atomic will last. And since each customer becomes a part of our family, you aren't treated like just another number. So visit AtomicChassis.com today to plan your next trip to Victory Lane.
Sick of staticky headphones you bought at the dollar store? Come to your senses and enjoy music once again. At Sense, we recognize that not one size fits all. It's your music. Sense believes it should be your choice in how to listen to it. Enjoy crystal clear audio with comfortable and fresh styles that suit you. Don't conform to the norm. Get what you want and listen with your senses.
Need a better way to listen to music? Come into the 21st century with Tenace Home Cinema and Music Systems. Tenace provides music impeccably reproduced from the world's most outstanding manufacturers. If we carry it, we believe in it, as if the musicians are playing live in your home. Knowledge matters, quality matters, and when that point comes to upgrade, Tenace will be there.
3 laps complete in the 30-lap season opener for the Atomic Power Racing Hour up here at CanAm Motorsports Park. Doug Elkins, Rich Bleck up in the booth. Paul Small wandering around the pits, catching stories for us. We just had our first caution, and there's a Delaware restart. Got some in-car cameras. There's Dale Caswell. He's running position number 3.
Trying to save a tear off, just wiping off the visor, getting set to go. Charlie Sandercock started in 8th. We knew he would have some work to do, but he's still in 6th, and Chris Fleming has been kind of nipping at his tail in the 10F.
Green flag coming out. Get the look from right above as they'll drive underneath you here at the big flat half-mile back to racing here on lap number 4 in a battle for the lead.
Look at Lanigan down on the inside. Slide job on Lee Gill and contact made off of turn number 2.
That is a classic slide job right there. And with the front ends on these late models, you really don't want to just bang bumpers like you can in a lot of other forms of racing. So Gill has to back off there and let Darrell Lanigan go as you see Dale Caswell sneaking up to the outside there in position number 3 in the black and green car.
Yeah, Caswell making a good run on that part of the racetrack. Battle back now for spot number 4. Elmer Stevenson to the inside of Alan Fink. Battle for the lead as well. Lee Gill to the inside.
And Lee Gill using some local track knowledge here. Pays back the favor. Gets by Lanigan. And we'll see what he can do now that he has the lead. And Caswell gains a little bit on Lanigan as he got a little loose out of turn 4.
That, Doug. A little spoiler damage on the right rear.
Yes, there is.
Has to be from the contact on the restart. And one thing I know about these late models is you do not want spoiler damage. That will really upset the way the car is able to handle.
So we'll watch and see what happens to him now as all of a sudden the handle seems like it has fallen off on Lanigan's car. He's back to position number 3. And we'll have to keep our eyes and see what happens to him over the course of the race. 7 laps in, 23 to go.
Meanwhile, Charlie Sandercock starting to hit his stride up to position number 4. Chris Fleming to the inside of Alan Fink. Fink's car must have been set up to run the top. He's been there since the drop of the green, and a lot of guys are making their moves on the bottom of the speedway. So Fink is back to 6th. Kind of a surprise, as he did finish 2nd here in the Tour race 2 years ago.
And you see the car wiggle that time off of turn number 4. Chris Fleming, again, impressed with him. He's in the top 5 right now and looking to run down Charlie Sandercock again.
Yeah, just really focused on keeping that car to the bottom of the speedway, not getting up in that middle slick stuff where the car can skate out and kind of turn more to the right than you would want it to.
And again, making the move from IMCA, big decision for him because he was one of the top dogs in that national division. But and you saw that piece earlier with the Rush late model rules that they just switched over to. Now, like the IMCA series, these guys can travel, take the cars to different parts of the country.
Really a surprise to see, though. Darrell Lanigan came in as one of the odds-on favorites, falling back into the clutches of Sandercock. Some good battles back in the pack between McDonald and Beardsley, Kaylee Weiss. That's the back end of our top 10 right now off of turn number 4.
Positions 8, 9, and 10 are what you're looking at right there as they made the move on the outside of the speedway. Battle for position number 3 right now. Lanigan in the 29, and here's defending champion Charlie Sandercock.
I think Lanigan's just trying to sort out what's going on. He might not even be sure that it is spoiler damage. He knows the car's handling differently than it was all night long. Sandercock drives easily to the inside and moves up into 3rd.
And you had a look at the right rear on both those cars. They're each showing damage, but Sandercock's is just on the quarter panel. It didn't get the spoiler, where with, we've got trouble down in turn number 1.
Big crash as Boom Briggs, Kyle Sopaz, a number of cars involved, some just driving around to the leader spins.
And that's Lee Gill, who's gotten into this deal over in turn number 1.
Lee Gill comes around in the 125. Your race leader definitely came to a stop. Likely he'll have to be put to the back. Some other drivers driving away. Phil Potts, Jordan Peters. A massive pileup. Not like the one last year, but still the leader stopped, and I believe he'll have to go to the back.
Let's see if we can catch what happened here. We were watching the battle up front in the top 5, and boy, the cars just started going around. Track was blocked.
A tough night for Boom Briggs in that blue 99. A lot of drivers just kind of slowed down, and when they slowed down, the leader was all up on them. We've even got Brandon Ford down on the inside over in the weeds.
Oh, look at that. It's going to be tough to get him out of there. So while we sort this out, we'll take a break on the Atomic Power Racing Hour. Welcome back to CanAm Motorsports Park. Race number 1 of the season for the Atomic Power Racing Hour in the Go Nuclear late models. We are 10 laps into this 30-lap feature. Big crash took us to where we are right now, so the field all bunched up once again. And there is a shot out front at a clean racetrack. That's what Dale Caswell sees right now.
Caswell able to take that lead after Lee Gill spun around and had to go to the back. So Caswell, the new leader, up on the outside. Darrell Lanigan, despite the spoiler damage, is back out in front. Wow.
Lanigan with a power move on the outside. And again, he's a professional, so he does have that spoiler damage. So if there's anybody who can figure out a way to get that car around this racetrack, it's Darrell Lanigan.
I'm going to assume somewhere along the way he's had spoiler damage before and knows how to react to that. And here comes Chris Fleming again on the inside of Charlie Sandercock. The rookie doing a great job.
And Sandercock might have got the best of him that time with an outside move, but turns 3 and 4, they're very two separate corners almost coming in. Tightens up a little bit out of 4. Sometimes the outside's the way to go, and Sandercock uses that groove to take the spot.
They are side by side for that position. Same for position number 5. A.J. Kingsley moving his way up after starting in position number 9. Well, pole sitter Alan Fink still having trouble, although he's adapted to the bottom line now in the 28.
Well, just because you set a car up for the top, and again, we don't know if he did that, but sometimes you have to move around. That's why they say dirt racing is so technical. The track is always changing. Battle up front now as Caswell looking at the inside while Sandercock kind of watches and lurks back there in 3rd spot.
Yeah, I'm impressed that Lanigan's been able to put himself back up front.
Yeah.
Definitely a great driver, but battling a wound wounded race car right now. Well, Caswell slips up the speedway and puts Sandercock in the wall.
Yeah, he definitely had some contact that time. Oh, I love this shot right here. You can see what they're doing over in 1 and 2. Is that Sandercock on the outside? Got a little wide that time.
And up the racetrack goes Caswell, so that allowed Sandercock's momentum to come to fruition. He peeked down to the bottom, and Caswell slams the door shut. The last two champions battle it out right now for spot number 2.
Behind a professional race car driver as we look out front now, right up to the top of the racetrack goes Charlie Sandercock. This is the line he used last time to get a run on Dale Caswell down the backstretch. Is it going to work this time?
Not quite, but down to the inside, Caswell goes, if you're going to beat me, you're going to do it on the outside of the racetrack. Probably can hear the 57 closing in, and they make contact again.
Caswell making it a little wide that time, and hey, that's part of racing. Nobody says he's got to move over and let him go by. Sandercock married to the top side right now, and you can see Caswell. Oh, he went up the track. This might open up the inside.
But again, I think Sandercock knew that Caswell was going to drive high and then go back down to the bottom. Very rare that you see the R19 running anything but that inside groove of the racetrack.
Meanwhile, Lee Gill, who was involved in that caution, he's back up to 5th.
Yeah, 7 laps it took him to get back in the top 5.
Wow.
You have all 3 Go Nuclear late model series champions in series history back into the top 5.
Impressive to watch him come up through. There's your top 3. 13 laps left to go, 12 when they cross this time. Charlie Sandercock trying to figure out a way to get up and get by Dale Caswell, and you can see he's got another good run on him through the middle of the corners, but then Caswell seems to be better coming out.
Lanigan knows that with these cars, momentum is critical, so he's just trying to do everything he can to maintain momentum. It looks like he's adapted to the top of the racetrack to just try to keep the RPMs built up, knowing that in the corner, the car won't be able to stick like it is for Caswell with a full acting spoiler on the bottom of the speedway.
And when you see this in-car camera view, you can see how much the track has changed. Oh, he did a switch on it, went down to the inside, might have him this time.
Yeah, Caswell's got to let him go this time by as Sandercock puts it down to the bottom, looks to complete the side job, and he's got spot number 2 with just over 10 laps left to go.
Top 3, it's a good battle out in front. Lanigan using the middle off, and here comes Sandercock on the outside. You can see Caswell take a look that time to try to get him.
And Caswell's not giving up. After 2 straight series championships, Caswell got dethroned a little bit last year by the number 57. They've had kind of an interesting rivalry, not hating each other, but they come to the racetrack wanting to beat one another, that is for certain, and they are still side by side. Look at this, Caswell not only back in the second, but going for the lead.
Well, maybe not. Here comes Sandercock back on the outside. And look at this, he gains on Lanigan. Oh, they're coming into traffic. I saw some lap traffic ahead of him now.
That's going to be critical. The Brandon Moat 46 glued to the bottom, but look at Sandercock just kind of running through the middle black where there's no grip to be found. Lanigan knows the 57 is there, and they will remain side by side and have to go 3 wide with the lap car.
And don't count out Lee Gill. I just saw him in the shot. He's 4th. He's gaining on these front 3.
Yeah, his lap times have been about 0.4 of a second quicker than the leader, so he can certainly run them down, but passing them and having that clean air go away could be different. Look at Sandercock into the race lead.
But used traffic well. I think that Lanigan might have lifted a little bit there to try to figure out what he was going to do with the 55, and that gives Sandercock the lead.
We talked about how Lanigan's car is not performing like the others. It just is a matter of keeping the momentum up. He lost the momentum. Lee Gill, meanwhile, is right on the back end of 2nd and 3rd in that 125.
And Caswell's trying to make that bottom groove work here as 2, 3, and 4 all run together now in turn 1, 6 laps to go.
And Sandercock's got to be loving it. Back out in front, the defending series champion trying to drive away and repeat as a winner here at CanAm.
Love these in-car shots. You see how much the drivers work. And you can see here goes Caswell again to the bottom. No place for Lee Gill to go right now. He's got to kind of wait for these guys to figure out what they're doing.
Caswell just can't clear Lanigan yet, though. If you could get by, that might open up a situation with Sandercock in the lap cars. Look at Lee Gill, though, running the middle of the speedway to perfection.
And he might have 3rd spot here. He works his way around Caswell. This is just flat out impressive. I mean, here he was, leader, gets involved in a wreck, has to go all the way to the back, and here he is in 3rd place with 4 laps to go when they come around this time.
You can see how the 29L of Lanigan's bumper is just hanging on the right-hand side. Not just the bumper, the rear spoiler, the right rear quarter panel, but he's still hanging on, still holding off Lee Gill, at least for the moment. A couple of cars with Greg Bellier connections battling into turn number 3.
And of course, one car we haven't mentioned here the past couple of laps is Charlie Sandercock, and there he is right there, pulled out to a pretty good lead now on the field.
And just 3 more circuits around. Sandercock running the rim of the racetrack without issue. The driver out of Bellevue, Ontario, hangs on to the lead. battle for second. Lanigan still holding off Lee Gill.
Yeah, Gill kind of got trapped there behind the number 92 of Adam Turner, and, well, he's going to try to sweep him right now, but Lanigan's going to be able to keep that spot for the time being. Oh, no, here comes Gill back down to the bottom.
And it'll get a little tight, and Lee Gill had the preferred crew. Goes down to the bottom, tries to slide Jordan Peters, the lap car in the black 11P. He's got second, but does he have enough time to catch the leader?
And I like the way he used Peters there, kind of got to the inside of him to make sure that Lanigan couldn't get him. Boy, the leader's got some traffic now.
Elmer Stevenson got sideways. Stevenson was in the top 5 early on in this race. Phil Potts, the backup car that he had to go to tonight, took the provisional, almost gets in the back of Sandercock off of turn number 2, but now it's smooth sailing for the defending series champion.
Shouldn't be any more lap traffic for him to deal with as he makes his way through 3 and 4 this time. Our defending champion is going to win race number 1 of the Go Nuclear Late Model Series. Second place goes to Lee Gill. Impressive run from the back. Darrell Lanigan third, Chris Fleming, Dale Caswell, he ends up in 5th. And how about Chubb Frank? Coming from the B main to 7th.
We didn't talk about him much, but he certainly had a great run. And Chris Fleming did get by Dale Caswell right at the line to get into 4th as Caswell slid back to 5th.
Welcome to the series. We'll meet our top 3 finishers from the opener at CanAm when we come back on the Atomic Power Racing Hour.
If you're enjoying these late models on the Atomic Power Racing Hour, you need to be there in person. The Go Nuclear Late Model Challenge Series is coming to a track near you with all the dirt-flinging, side-by-side racing, and bumper-to-bumper action that you can handle. Come see the cars and stars of the Atomic Power Racing Hour as they battle for bragging rights. The series is coming to a track near you, so don't miss out on your best opportunity to experience what all the hype's about. Come see the Go Nuclear Late Models at Humberstone, Sunday, August 23rd.
Need a better way to listen to music? Come into the 21st century with Tenace Home Cinema and Music Systems. Tenace provides music impeccably reproduced from the world's most outstanding manufacturers. If we carry it, we believe in it, as if the musicians are playing live in your home. Knowledge matters, quality matters, and when that point comes to upgrade, Tenace will be there.
Electricity. You flip a switch, the lights go on. But will we have safe supplies of electricity to meet our fast-growing needs? Today, nuclear energy provides 1/5 of America's electricity. Tomorrow, it could supply even more. And nuclear power plants don't emit greenhouse gases, so they preserve our environment. We need to reduce our dependence on foreign energy. And we also need clean air. With nuclear energy, we can do both. Nuclear, putting clean air energy to work.
Planning a trip to Victory Lane? Let Atomic Chassis get you there. Atomic Chassis are built with a high attention to detail using superior parts from trusted manufacturers such as PPM, Winters, Bernheisel, Bilstein, All-Star Performance, Vulcan, and many more. With superior craftsmanship and materials, you know Atomic will last. And since each customer becomes a part of our family, you aren't treated like just another number. So visit AtomicChassis.com today to plan your next trip to Victory Lane. Welcome back to the Atomic Power Racing Hour featuring the Go Nuclear Late Models. After 4 rainouts, we finally have a feature in here in 2015, and last year's champion gets the season off to a great start. Charlie Sandercock has won 3 out of 4 now at CanAm this season, and he has just pulled his winning late model down to Victory Lane. Our Paul Small is there, so let's send it down to Paul and meet our race winner.
Charlie, the evening may not have started the way you wanted, but I'd say this is a good way to end it.
Yeah, that's an all right way to end it. I'll take that. It was kind of sucks Lee Gill got put to the back there. I was hoping to run with him, and I don't know what all went on there, but it's tough luck for them, and I didn't want to win it that way. But I was looking forward to racing with Lee to get redemption on the last time we were here together. He beat me, so I was looking to get it back fair and square.
It did not look easy. There were a couple of times when your car was flat out sideways when it was supposed to be straight.
Yeah, we had to get up on the wheel a couple times for sure. We were behind Dale there a couple times, and both him and Darrell Lanigan and Dale Caswell, they're both strong competitors, and I was just trying to do my best to try and get around them.
You certainly did what you wanted to accomplish tonight and win in the first race of the series. Good way to defend a title.
Yeah, for sure. I got to thank all my crew, my sponsors, everyone that helped us out. So thanks to everyone.
That's Charlie Sandercock, winner of tonight's season opener for the Go Nuclear Late Model Series.
So Charlie Sandercock gets up on the roof to celebrate. He wins the opener.
And you can tell he's pretty happy about it. When you're able to battle some of the best drivers that have ever graced these late models here at Can-Am, like Lee Gill, Darrell Lanigan, Dale Caswell, you're going to feel pretty good about it. It wasn't just a walk in the park for Sandercock tonight. He had to start back at 8.
Yeah, early on it was Lee Gill with a little local track knowledge with the early lead, but we watched as Lanigan got up there with a nice slide job here, but this ended up hurting him in the long run.
Yeah, critical moment of the race. Lanigan's car probably would have been good enough to battle up and hang on to a win maybe, but had that rear spoiler damage. Gill was able to get back by and really checked out on the field, had about a 5-second lead when lap number 11 came around, and there was an issue with Lanigan's car, so Gill probably might have been the best, but he got caught up in this spin, kind of a late arrival into the spin as well. You see him right there coming around to the 125.
You have to maintain your position on the racetrack. He would go to the back. That would be a break for Lanigan.
Yeah, Lanigan would go, okay, another opportunity to restart, keeps the car nice and smooth on the outside of the speedway, gets by Dale Caswell to drive into the race lead, but Caswell wasn't done with him, and neither was Charlie Sandercock.
Sandercock making his way up. Here you see him trying the outside of Dale Caswell. These two battled lap after lap.
They made contact. They almost drove each other into the wall. Sandercock went over the banking on the backstretch, but finally Sandercock not just got a run for second after Caswell tried to get back by him. He said, I've got to use my opportunity now to get to the inside of Lanigan, and look at how he drove the middle up to the top and was just able to hang with Lanigan and battle with him. A lap later, he would be able to get by.
Yeah, I remember watching that at the time and going, what's he doing? There's a lap car down there, but he uses traffic well. Lanigan keeps the spot for now, but as you can see, Sandercock was not giving up by any means.
You know, he's one of those guys that doesn't feel you have to pass somebody in the first corner you reach them. You can wait that additional corner to set up your pass, and look at the slide job he makes off at turn number 4.
And you could see Lanigan react there, had to twitch the car just a little bit, or there would be contact. And how about Lee Gill coming from the back?
Impressive run, and you heard Charlie talk about it in his car. You wonder what it would have been if Gill didn't spin around. Would he be the one winning tonight?
Well, we'll find out. Our Paul Small is down with our second place finisher.
Lee, at the start of this race, you were in a different zip code from everybody else.
Yeah, the car was good. We just looking to take care of it there at the beginning, and the boys got all tangled up there, and I didn't have any place to go, but I had to turn it around to keep from running into them, and had to start in the back again.
And you worked your way all the way back up into the top 5, up to second place at the end. Do your laps and years of experience here, is that what came into play with that kind of drive?
I'd say that myself and Chuck, guy that helps me, we've been around here a few times, and the place does some different things when the sun goes down, and over the years we've gotten a little bit of a handle on it.
So Lee Gill had the drive of the night. He probably passed more cars than anybody else.
No doubt an impressive run for Lee Gill as we see our top finishers on the front straightaway here at Can-Am. Here's how they came across the line, Rich.
Well, the Canadian beat all the drivers from the United States as Sandercock beats a driver in Lee Gill that was right from the backyard. Union, Kentucky, Darrell Lanigan finishes in third, and you had all 3 former series champions in the top 5.
Looking back a little bit farther, there's one of the fast timers, David McDonald, back in position number 13. Phil Potts takes his backup car to a 16th place finish.
Yeah, a lot of these drivers fell a lap down right on the final few laps. A few drivers from the B main moving up, but these drivers, most of them, unable to finish involved in that lap 11 spin.
We haven't met our third place finisher yet. He is down with our Paul Small.
Darrell Lanigan comes home in third place tonight. Well, the car's in one piece. It looks a little bit different, but it's in one piece.
Yeah, we got a little quarter panel damage here on one of them restarts. Got us a little loose, and it kind of ruined our night for us, really. So, but it is what it is.
You were in the thick of it all night, though. You must have been pretty surprised, though, when all of a sudden you saw the 125 spun around there.
I knew I was getting loose there. There wasn't much I could do. I was just hanging on there at the end.
Our top 3 get together down in Victory Lane as we take a look ahead at what we have coming up. Big 2-hour show coming up in August from Oshweekend, Utica Rome on the big half mile, and back to Cornwall where we saw some awesome racing on the tiny quarter mile last year. There's another great night of racing here at Can-Am.